Hi, I'm Cary Daniel, co-founder and CEO of Nextaff. One of the most common questions we get around our franchise model is about territories. Our territories are broken into 3 verticals. When you purchase a franchise from us, it allows you to operate in one single vertical. Those 3 verticals are commercial, which represents light industrial, administrative, and professional. That's about 78% of the staffing market. It's a very large segment. The second vertical is healthcare, and the third vertical is information technology. Typically with commercial, that's the most common segment. It takes very little requirements, it's easy to learn, and it's a fairly rapid ramp-up time in terms of your learning curve. When it comes to healthcare, that one takes a little more experience. There's a lot more regulatory areas around it. There is compliance and there's credentialing that needs to be involved. So we will normally require some kind of background in healthcare, or your first hire is going to have that background for you. And finally, when it comes to information technology, that is an absolute must of having that background due to the terminology that's used and the enormous amount of time it takes to break into those circles. The way those territories work in size are as follows. When it comes to commercial, those territories are typically broken into the entire county. When it comes to healthcare and when it comes to information technology, normally that territory is going to be the entire metro area. So they are massive territories for you to expand. One of the questions we get quite often is, why did you choose to do it that way? And why can't I buy a territory with all 3 verticals and operate them at the same time? After 25 years in this industry and opening dozens and dozens of offices, one thing we've learned is once somebody starts to operate their business, they tend to segment themselves into a vertical by nature. And once they get into that vertical, they start to become experts in it. They start to recruit in that field. The clients that they obtain in that vertical tend to know other clients in that vertical. And what we notice is after a year or so, you never tend to get outside of that vertical anyway. So it's better to pick a vertical, stay within it, stay focused, and we've seen that's been the greatest lead to success. Another common question we get is, why are you different? Maybe you're looking at some other staffing franchise competitors out there. So there are an enormous amount of items that we could go through, but let's just talk about some of the top ones. So first of all, territory size. If you look at some of the other competitors out there, their territories are usually dissected pretty small. Ours are enormous territories. Healthcare is typically the entire metro, IT is typically the entire metro, and commercial is usually the entire county, unless the county is extremely large. That's the first one. The second one, very important, it can be a little complicated to understand, but that's why we break out our item 19 like we do, is to understand how the royalty fee is calculated. We do our royalty fee. We calculate our royalty fee on gross wages. We don't do it off of revenue, and we don't do it off of gross margin. And the reason why we do that is because the back office items that we do typically are related around payroll. It keeps your cost at a fixed amount, no different than work comp or unemployment. And what we have seen when comparing to the other competitors is normally it's anywhere from 15% to 45% more cost efficient for you having done it that way. Third area is a differentiator. I would encourage you to ask the other competitors point blank, what makes you different in the marketplace? Ours is very simple. We have a proprietary method called X Factor that helps companies achieve higher quality results by up to 100%. We spent an enormous amount of time researching that, and it is a huge competitive advantage that not many people talk about or see. Perhaps you're looking at a staffing franchise compared to maybe some other type of franchise, and you're asking, well, what's the difference between those two? Something we hear from our franchise owners every single day, and even from our staff, internal staff, every single day, is we make a difference in people's lives. You are finding people, it could be their ideal job, it could be their first job, it could be their next promotion. That is a huge factor. If you want to be passionate about helping other people and making a significant impact in their life, staffing could be that for you. Sometimes we're asked, what makes our culture different than some of the other staffing agencies or staffing franchises out there? And I think one of the key things that I see is in the ethics of one, the management team, and the ethics of our business owners, our franchise owners. So some of our competitors, due to the nature of the way their model was built and the restrictive nature of their territories, how small they are, we commonly hear about the infighting that can go back and forth and somebody crossing into somebody else's territory. Fortunately, we can say that never occurs here. We commonly get very positive feedback, very high marks from our franchise surveys. We commonly hear about franchise owners getting large accounts that bleed over into other territories and how well those franchise owners work within each other. So usually every year we bring up the topic about national accounts. Do we want to talk about anything? Is there anything we need to do? And the common theme is we don't see any issues. We never have any problems. So we love to hear that feedback, and that's a true testament to how well our franchise owners respect each other and work well together. Thanks for your time. Good luck on your journey, and I hope to meet you soon.